Hello and welcome to Texas. My name is Justin. I'm the owner of Team 53 and I partner with Coach Dave Academy and Impel Motorsports to bring you this week's Learn to Drive video for ARCA Cars at Texas as part of iRacing's 2025 Season 2 Week 12 official series. If you guys can, make sure you like and subscribe. I'm just kind of a small time short track racer here in Wisconsin. I've got a late model. My daughter Sydney has a go-kart that we race a couple times a month. She just finished up a race weekend last weekend at Road America. They have a little road course kart track there, which is kind of cool. A bunch of GT3s and GT4s. We're having track days around the tracks. That was kind of fun. But if you guys can, every little bit of support helps. Appreciate all of it. We're encroaching on, we're about 150 or so, 160 subscribers away from 1,000. So we're getting there, which is it's pretty crazy. I'll be honest. So let's go this week at Texas. This track is going to be really weather dependent. So I've been in this room for about 23 minutes and my track temp has gone from about 106 degrees up to 116 degrees. So if you guys are using the iRacing official series, that you would normally do to test, I think you're going to struggle a lot. But I have been getting a few messages from some of the ARCA people wondering how you set up an ARCA test. So you go to your iRacing UI. You're going to scroll down and you're going to find your ARCA Menards series. And then what you do is you click on schedule and you're going to click here where it says go racing and you're going to hit test drive. And what that's going to do is it's going to create a test session with the exact parameters that you guys are going to see within your race. So you can leave marbles on track, you can let it generate your starting state, whatever you want to do. I usually just do generate. It gives me a little bit of variance, hopefully from week to week. So this one, slight usage, 5%. We're just going to roll with it. But why this is important is that 10-degree difference in temperature at a track like Texas can sometimes be upwards of 2/10 a lap that it can cost you in lap time. So it's going to be really, really important that you guys kind of understand track temp and where you're at in relation to how fast you're going. But let's head out here on track. We're going to do just a slight little bit of tire heat, not a ton, just enough to kind of get the juices flowing in the tires. Lap 2 is going to be our fast lap as well. So we'll kind of have some time here, especially some time for me to talk about Impel Motorsports. They're a huge supporter of mine. Link to their website, impelmotorsports.com, is in the description below. If you're looking to upgrade your sim racing equipment, or if you're a real life racer and you need parts and supplies, Impel Motorsports is your home. They're based in Post Falls, Idaho. Super small company. They're great people. They've supported me from day one, from my real racing journey all the way till now, and they continue to support me. So definitely make sure you check them out if you're looking to upgrade. And then if you have a small business, you're looking to, maybe you're like a plumber or something like that, you're looking to improve your Google rankings, head over to my friends at Precision Pair Marketing, precisionpair.com. They can help you out there. Let them know that I sent you, and they'll give you a little bonus with that offer. So here as we come to get our white flag, we're going a little bit high here in 3 and 4 and getting a full head of steam here coming to the start finish line. We get to the start finish line, and just like Atlanta, just like Charlotte, all of those, we're only about halfway up here on the front stretch. So when you look at it from the cockpit, you know, I would even say this might be a little high for the dog leg. I might come down just a little bit more and make it so that this left side is even here, but it gives me a good angle so it works. We're not going to be too picky about it. We come down the front stretch here. We're going to cut this dog leg and get super close to this grass. So from the far chase, you want to be as close to that grass as you can without hitting it with the left front. We come up. We're going to come up about 2/3 of the way on this straightaway. There's like a little bit of a darker gray up here close to the wall that you can kind of see. It's really difficult, but there's a little bit of a shading difference here. I usually try and just stay below that shading difference. And then we'll head down here into turn 1. Turn 1 here at Texas is probably one of my least favorite corners in all of NASCAR, at pretty much any NASCAR track. So it looks like, it's really deceiving. There's a ton of room here. It looks like you can go about 12 wide. In reality, you're going to go maybe 2 wide through this corner. Some guys will push 3 wide, but for a qualifying lap, you really don't want to try and push it out too far. So you're going to bring it in, and we're going to lift here as we start to head down the hill into the corner. I'm probably a little late on lifting here. You might, maybe about the time this white line goes away, but you're going to want to lift just a little bit. Grab just a tiny bit of brake, if any, and then as you come back through this section here where these bumps are, that's where you're going to start to throttle up. When you're in the cockpit, it really feels like this line here, that's where we go full throttle. So you bring it in, full throttle in, car as close to the white line as you can. It's just going to naturally drift up here towards the wall. And then you'll go full throttle, nice and tight here up against the backstretch wall. You really want to get that right side close. Pack some air in here. There used to be an iRacing glitch where if you got really close to the wall, it would pack a ton of air and it would almost slingshot you down the backstretch. But nice and tight. And then we head here for turn 3. And turn 3, unlike turn 1, turn 3 is pretty much flat out. So we're going to go into turn 3. You'll see throttle pedal, just a little light lift there. I catch the apron here, and this is what really annoys me about this lap. This lap was a half a tenth faster until I caught that little bit of apron there. So you really, and then I couldn't even get close to it after that. You really have to pay attention with how close you get to that apron. And just try and hold it down there, hold it wide open, and then you'll come off this corner and you'll be just fine. Um, 3 and 4 super easy to figure out. 1 and 2 takes a little bit of time. This lap should have been a 37. Instead, it ends up being a 42. But it's still a great lap. It just probably would not have been pole in like a multi-split situation. But let's give you guys a ride in the car nonetheless. And this lap, I should say, let's give you a ride in the car presented by Overdrive Racing Oils and Lubricants. So there's your qualifying lap presented by Overdrive Racing Oils and Lubricants. They're an AMSOIL dealer. I use it in my daughter's go-kart. They make the Briggs & Stratton oil, which is perfect for her, and that's what we use in her cart. So link in the description below to their page. Every time you click on that link and you purchase from them, it helps us out here on the channel. So let's take a look here. What qualifying changes did I make? 10-to-1 steering ratio, +4 offset, and I went to a 52% brake bias. I don't really think brake bias is really going to play that much into it. It's really just going to be a lift, but I wanted to have the car freer in case I needed to get into the corner and use that to help rotate the car. But we'll get to that here in race trim here in a little bit and why that really wasn't necessary. But 10-to-1 +4, 52 offset or 52 brake bias didn't really matter there. So let's go to the far chase. So you saw we did a 42 in qual, probably could have ran a 37. Race trim, what I did was I said, all right, I'm just going to back it down about 2.5 tenths from where I was my fastest lap. And what we find is that there's a tremendous amount of fall off here with this car. And particularly right around lap 10, the car gets very free exit of 2 and entry to 3. So what I was trying to do was back my lap times down to hopefully kind of manage this early run situation to where I'm not punishing that right rear tire and I'm able to save a little bit. So when we look here at the garage, you can see my tires were fairly even in terms of wear, 81/80. It's showing a little bit of right rear tendency, but 267, 274 temps, not terrible. And that was, after about 15 laps. So roughly, we'll say roughly a third of the race. It's a 40 lap race. It's not terrible. It's probably not where they need to be for that point of the race, but it's where they were. So what are some things that you guys can do to manage your tires? Well, let's take a look at these laps here, and we'll just kind of see like, okay, where's my lift point here? This is going to be a 75, my first lap, right? Um, so lift points here, we're well into the corner before I'm lifting, so I can probably back this lift point up a little bit. I'm cheating a little bit on throttle here through this center. I probably don't need to do that. I can just let it roll the center there, get back on right here at these humps, and then just drive kind of hard off. And you can even see, like when you look at this from the outside, you can see that the car is in a little bit of yaw, right? And how we know that we're burning a little bit of yaw, kicking that right rear out and really using those side forces to rotate the car is that this right rear tire is not in line with the right front. And this is something that when you're inside the car, you don't necessarily feel. Like when we look at this from the cockpit, it doesn't look, and when you're driving, it doesn't feel like you're in yaw. And so that explains to me when I just look at that why we're seeing the right rear tire wear. Yeah, it's only 1%, but a lot of these tracks, remember, you guys are burning off your right fronts. So this week, now we're doing everything kind of the opposite of what we've done in the past to try and save our right rear. So just being gentle on throttle, letting it kind of roll, not cheating it. You see here now as we go down the backstretch, we're getting a little bit better grip. Right front, right rear in line. Heading into three, different from qualifying, right? You see me lifting and just kind of rolling into three a little bit. And again, all of this is to try and save not lap 5, not lap 10, but lap 25, lap 30, 35, and 40 to have something at the end of the race. And that's really where you guys that you can manage stuff. Like, there's a good chance that this 46 is probably about 2/10 off of what someone who manages better these first couple laps are. So what are tools that you can use to help you manage those lap times, right? Go into your options, go into option, and turn on your delta bar. And set it to session last lap. Set up buttons on your steering wheel or on your keyboard or somewhere where you can easily get to change those delta displays so that you can kind of work on this stuff. So when I go in here, I've got mine set, it shows here session last lap. So it's going to be a 46 that it's tied to. But because I've got a button on my steering wheel, I can actually move this and I can say, okay, my all-time best lap is a 36, 365. And I know that I need to back my lap time down to probably, let's shoot for like a mid 7 to back our lap time down and just see what we get like at the end of 5 or 10 laps for tire wear. But if we back that lap time down, it's really going to help. And how I do this is just like this. So you can see now we have this delta bar that's showing up here at the top. And that delta bar is showing me in real time how much slower I am to this all-time best lap because that's what I have it set to. So my goal for this is going to be at about 3.5 to 4/10 slower, probably about 4/10 slower than my all-time best. That was probably the world's worst corner, but it's okay. We're using this for example. Your lap 1 also not going to be your best because your tires are not up to optimal operating temperatures. So we won't necessarily worry about that too much. I can really feel tightness in the car right now with cold tires. But here's we get going. So this is going to be a 9. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and switch to my session last lap. And now I know I need to be about 4/10 faster than that 006 that I ran. I really thought we were going to get a 9, but not quite. So it's all about getting that optimal lap built in. It's not really worrying about how fast you're going. It's just about getting that optimal lap. See, we lifted a ton on entry there to 3. And maybe this is the answer. My track temp now is up to 117 degrees. So it's getting nice and spicy out here. We really have to watch that throttle input early there. You can feel the cars in yaw. You could just see kind of the rear end sliding and chasing out. So that was not the best that we wanted to do there. Just a little entry there. So now we're looking at like an 85 here for this lap. 84.9. So that's probably a pretty good pace lap for us. And we're just going to roll this in here. Get on throttle, get some nice drive off. See, that was much straighter drive off that time, but our lap time is a little bit slower. And again, we're okay with that when we're doing this for training purposes because we really want to see what we have at the end of the run. So if we were going to do this, we would run 40 full laps and see kind of, okay, where's my lap time with that? And then you can go back out and you can push it, maybe go 2/10 faster a lap, 1/10 faster a lap, and just really kind of see where you're at lap time wise with your tire wear. So we do those laps, 87, 81, but really this was just to show you kind of all of that. We're going to see fall off here after about lap 5, after about lap 10, it's really going to get free on exit. But then you'll go into your garage and you'll compare. So what we can see, right, is that with lifting early and doing all those things, especially the first couple laps, our tire wear pretty much identical, a little right front heavy to be honest with you. But what you would do then is, once you kind of get it figured out, like where you need to be lap time wise, you can then run a 10 lap run and kind of try different things. You don't have to run a full 40 lap run, but you can check those. After you get done with a race, if you change how you run a race, go in and look at your tires before you exit the session and start building yourself a mental notebook or maybe a physical notebook next to you that shows your tire wears and kind of what your lap times were. To know like, okay, if I drop it to an 84 versus trying to run a 67, I'm going to have 12% more tire wear at the end of the race, and I was able to gain 5 more positions. And you can just kind of work off of that. And I think that'll be a really good tool for you guys. The other thing to know is that at Texas, typically you do get a little aero tight behind cars. So definitely work on keeping that left front clear, and you guys should have a great week. Leave us a comment, like, subscribe, hop in the Discord. Anything you guys can do, we're happy to have it. And best of luck, and we will see you guys in the next video.